What is going on YouTube? In today's video I'm showing you guys how to perform king of all upper body movements, the bench press. Let's get straight into it. Bam! So with the bench press, just like any other movement, some people are gifted and some people are not. Genetically, some people are just good at benching from the start, and some people, like me, I had to work a lot. I had to work on my form, work on my strength. I had to build my way up to a stronger bench. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is how I set up for the bench press. So I place my feet right, I get my grip, I have a nice neutral arch, and I just grab the bar and start benching. This is my setup. This is how I bench. Obviously, over time, your setup will change, and I didn't always bench like this. I used to have a more narrow grip. I used to grip the bar a lot closer, but obviously over time I did manage to use a wider grip. I felt more comfortable doing a wider grip, so that's what I'm doing right now. This is my bench form right now. So right now I'm going to show you an alternative on how you can set up your own bench. This is the right way. This is the key fundamental basics on what you need to do when you build your own bench press. So obviously over time you can change your bench press and personalize it the way you want it to look and the way you feel more comfortable, but for right now you just want to start off with the basics. So I am going to tell you everything you need to know to get a perfect starting position. As you can see with the alternative, I'm laying down on the bench, I'm putting both my feet up on the bench, I'm getting a nice arch, and slowly you want to put down 1 foot at a time. So that basically puts you in a strong benching position. Your foot placement is everything when it comes to tightness, and you just want to make sure your feet can't move forward. Next thing you want to focus on, you want to make sure you have a nice arch where you can put one hand through. So you basically can put one hand through. As you can see in the clip, I'm putting one hand through my lower back, and that should be your arch. You shouldn't have too drastic of an arch. You should just have a normal regular arch where you can just put one hand through. So usually what I say to beginners is start off with a little bit outside of a shoulder width grip. That's where you should grip the bar, and that's where you should bench to begin with. Obviously over time you can change that. You can go closer, you can go wider. I've been benching for almost 4 or 5 years now, and obviously my grip hasn't always been the same. I used to start off with a closer grip, and obviously it moved out to a wider grip, but to start off with, you want to start with the basics and just a regular right outside of a shoulder width grip. So when you're setting up, there's some key things you should focus on. Number 1, foot placement. You want to make sure your feet are planted to the ground, and you want to make sure they cannot move. You don't want your feet to move at all. You want them to stay planted to the ground, and you want to make sure you are planted and steady. The second thing you want to focus on is keeping your shoulder blades back and down. Keep them retracted at all times when you're benching. So make sure they're back and down, and don't let them come forward at all throughout the whole range of motion. The third thing you want to focus on is lay down on the bench, get a slight arch, and make sure your shoulder blades are back and down still. So when you lay down, you want to make sure, I like to put my hands on the side of the bench, like where you rack the bar, and just keep my shoulders, tuck them like down and in. Fourth thing you want to focus on is make sure you grip the bar little outside of a shoulder width. So if this is shoulder width, you just want to push your arms a little bit to the side and grip right there. Number 5, tuck your elbows in, not too much in, just slight in. What you want to think of when you're tucking your elbows in is you want to think of bending the bar. So if you grip the bar like this, you just want to think of bending the bar. Obviously you can't bend the bar, but just think of that. So grip it and just think of bending the bar. After you grip the bar, lower the bar to your lower chest, like right on the level of your nipple. Some mistakes I see a lot of people making: their feet are moving when they're benching. So I told you to keep your feet planted to the ground, and the reason being, when you keep your feet planted to the ground, you can generate force with your foot. So just think of the body like a cable that's shaped in a circle, like this. The energy goes like this all the time. When your feet are moving and not in place, just when you're not keeping your feet planted, think of it like someone is cutting the cable in the middle, and energy is leaking out that way and this way. Energy is just leaking out all different ways. The same thing goes with your foot placement. When one foot just rises up, the energy will go out that way and go out this way, and you want to make sure your feet are planted, because you don't want any energy to go out your leg and just use energy to raise your leg up. You want to make sure all of the energy that you use goes to actually pressing the weight. Mistake number 2, shoulder blades. I see a lot of people, when they're pressing, their shoulder blades tends to come forward and out of place, especially when they unrack the weight. So when they unrack the weight, the shoulder blades just tend to come forward, and then they try to tuck them down again and press. And obviously that is harder than just keeping your shoulder blades back and down to begin with, and just rack the weight out and press from there. You want to make sure your shoulder blades are back and down so you are safe when you're pressing, and obviously you will be stronger in a back and down shoulder blade position. Mistake number 3, not tucking your elbows in. You want to make sure you tuck your elbows slightly in and bench from there. You don't want your elbows to flare out. You want to tuck them in, because if they flare out in the long run, that can lead to some big serious injuries. The last mistake I see a lot of people making is their wrist. Yes, their wrist. I know people that have been training for multiple years, they still don't know how to keep their wrist, where to grip the bar on their wrist, in their hand, and it needs to change. So I'm showing you what you need to do and where you need to put the bar on your hand to bench in the most effective way. As you can see in the clips, you don't want your wrist to bend back. You want to keep it straight. Just think of it like this. A good example is, let's say you're boxing a punching bag. Are you going to be stronger in this position where your wrist is bent, or are you going to be stronger in a straight position? Nobody boxes like this. Everybody boxes like with a straight wrist. So that is a good example. You won't be able to generate as much force with a bent wrist. That's why you shouldn't do suicide grip. And obviously it will lead to some serious injuries if you keep punching the bag with a bent wrist. The same thing goes with the bench press. You want to make sure you keep the bar in a straight line with your elbows. So that is how to bench. I showed you the basics. Obviously over time your bench can change and get a lot more personalized over time. But the most important thing you need to know is how to bench properly from the beginning. So I'm showing you guys that in this video. There are so many tutorials on YouTube on how you should bench, and some of these videos don't really show you or tell you that you can customize your bench the way you want. But all you need to know, all you need to focus on is benching right from the beginning, doing the movement right and just controlled and knowing how to perform the exercise. Like I said, foot placement, shoulder blades, where to grip the bar, all of that can change over time. You have to personalize the bench press and find out what works for you, because obviously some people have shorter arms like me, some people have shorter legs, shorter, longer upper bodies. We are all different, and all you need to know is just start off with the basics. I showed you a variation on how you can start off with benching, and just do it, and obviously over time you can change it the way you like it. The bench press is the king of all upper body movements in my opinion. This is just my opinion. And obviously if you're a person like me that wants to get stronger, I didn't start off with a strong bench. I'm telling you, it is still today my weakest lift. Obviously I can bench 155 kilograms. For some of you that may sound like a lot, but I had to work a lot to get there, just so you know. So I'm not a talented dude that started off with a strong bench. I actually had to work my way up to get there, just like you guys have to do. So now that you know how to bench, just go out there and bench, man. I mean, go in the gym and bench, not outside. I don't know if you have a bench press outside, but anyways, hopefully you learned something new or just enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And if you enjoyed the video, please drop it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot, like I said. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Peace out.